When we decided to create a common currency about 30 years ago, we thought that it is not enough just to have a common currency, the euro, a common central bank, to have a firm grip on our monetary policy, but also one should pay attention to national budgets, because if a country has a very high debt, it might get into difficulties. And not only the country itself might get into difficulties, but it also might create difficulties and problems for other countries. For example, because the banking system might be fragile, and if a government goes bankrupt, then the banks probably go bankrupt as well. And the banks have many connections for the euro area, and therefore anybody's problems could spill over and create issues for others. And that was the sense of the fiscal rules which we have. We have two numbers, 60% debt to GDP ratio and 3% deficit every year. Perhaps one can discuss these numbers, but I think the sense of these rules is quite clear. If you have a high debt level, you have always a difficult situation. And from time to time, when the market gets nervous, you might have a big problem. And we see that in countries like Italy, Greece, and others. So that is why there's a general agreement that we need some rules. The big discussion is what exactly should be these rules be. And some people would like to have different numbers. Some people would like to have altogether different rules. That discussion is still open. It is very difficult to change the rules right now because our economy is changing. We had 20 years of very low inflation, very low interest rates, and therefore many people think that the old numbers, 60% debt ratio and 3% deficit, they're no longer useful because we have low inflation, low interest rates. But right now we are seeing that maybe times are changing again. Maybe the future will be very different from the last 20 years. Maybe we will get back to higher interest rates. And therefore, I would say that we should not change these rules now. They cannot be applied very strictly right now because we have an extraordinary economic situation. First we had COVID, now we have high energy prices, maybe we have a gas embargo, so we don't know. So for the time being, the rules are not really enforced very strictly. But it doesn't make sense right now to discuss about new rules until we know how the future will look like. And therefore, it might be best just to continue as we're doing right now. We aim to have lower debt levels, and all the countries which achieve that doing themselves a favor. But we will be able to agree on new rules only in a couple of years when the economic climate becomes clear.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.